Welcome to Decker Tech. I'm Aaron Decker, and today I wanted to do a starting deck guide for Ottis. This is, of course, max difficulty. I took all the basic divination, or all the divinations, and just took shards, so you should be able to craft a deck that's better than this. This is just with the bare minimum starting resources. You should be able to find some divinations that fit for you, or maybe get some shards transferred over from another character that got a good divination sort of thing. So, with his starting deck, the goal of Ottis, we're going into leaning into shields. He's our healer, and we're trying to get a very consistent, bring him down to a consistent 5 cards to just sustain the fight if it keeps going long. And just a lot of cards when they vanish are just good for their value because they're one-time use, right? So the goal here is Prayer Protection is one of the better cards you can craft for Ottis. It's very reasonably cost, and with perks, it does quite a bit of shielding for the team. To supplement that, single target healing is kind of what Ottis kind of lacks the most. So I did upgrade one of these Shield of Wardings. I do recommend upgrading one or even both of these if you keep both, but I usually only keep one and upgrade one to Vitality. Vitality is a really strong way to heal through Decay or Decadence, the Corruptor or the debuff. So it's just a solid, hey, you have 10 more health, and you get that health up on top, and it does not get removed when the vitality drops off, so you gained 10 health overall. So it's really nice. It's also a good buffer and a way to heal someone before they take damage, because Ottis is all about damage prevention, right? So sometimes you heal someone prior to them taking damage with the vitality stacks. We want to vanish out as many of these good starting cards as we can. Barrier upgraded is fantastic. It's a heal and a shield, which is then also another heal because Ottis passive. I guess I should have started with that. Ottis's passive is when he applies shield, he heals for a percentage based on the shield too. So that's how he's going to top people off. You are going to struggle to, like I said, keep people fully healed if you don't have some sort of like regeneration or vitality. As the game goes on later, you're going to lean more and more into vitality and step away from regeneration. But Healing Rain is just a very well-costed card for the early act. Also, if you go to the red biome first, this is a lifesaver there. And if you go into the hatch in Act 1 or just fight the tree boss, which turns out you got to fight every every run, right? Dispelling Fire can be very good there, right? So, keeping Atonement, you'll later cut this just in favor of more defense cards. But it's a zero-cost vanish, and the Sanctified does matter. People can heal off of that. Healing rays are fantastic. Infused Courages, we're going to turn these to zero cost and vanish, and we're going to add another one. If I had more shards, I'd add a 4th one, just so I can get courage on the entire team. Later, as Ottis levels up, he's going to get other ways to apply courage, and you'll start cutting these. These will be one of the first things you cut, like after Atonement. You'll cut a couple of these cards, and then Atonement, and then the Infused Courages as you level up and get more cards, just because Ottis eventually has a talent that allows him to apply courage to the entire team very efficiently. Barriers, keep them around. Like I'll usually end one or two run with 1 or 2 of these barriers in my deck, just because they're just a really good card that eventually comes down to a 0 cost and it vanishes and it heals. So it's very well priced. I wouldn't necessarily add more to the deck, but I'm not sad to see them in my deck. Dispel Magic is required. I would, if I had more shards, upgrade it to Dispel 3. That just means that you can actually dig deep and get Decay off of a target if you need to heal them, or Shackles off your tank, that sort of thing. The Dispel 3 is very required until the late game for sure. Like I said, if I had more shards, I'd say Dispel Magic is the first thing I upgrade, and then I'd also add a Fanaticism. We haven't talked about that. So we would like to add a Fanaticism to our deck and eventually upgrade it to this 2 energy version. This Fanaticism will stay in the deck until the very end of the game. If I had more shards, it would be here now, but since I don't, it's okay to get away with it in the first act. Definitely by Act 2, you want Fanaticism. As is, I might struggle to cast all of my cards every turn, but some of these cards I don't need to. Like these Sacred Bolts, I would go down to 1 of these for Act 1, and then eventually cut the second one in Act 2. Sanctify is nice, and a little extra damage in Act 1 goes a long way. But you don't need more than just 1 attack spell in Ottis at any time, in my opinion. We already talked about Prayer, big AoE heal, Shield of Warding. I normally cut one of these if I can and just upgrade the other, but I didn't have enough shards to make more cards, right? So if I could, I'd add another Infused Courage and a Fanaticism, and I'd cut this Sacred Bolt and the Shield of Warding, and that would leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 final cards, and you'd be able to cast all the cards every turn and keep the team very super healthy. Like that's what Ottis is here to do. Keep the team healthy and recover from any dips in their life totals. To do that, passive shields equals heals. That's great. Unwavering Faith. This is the one I mentioned where you'll be able to apply courage to the whole team. What you do is you use Unwavering Faith and then a Prayer of Shielding, or eventually you have a Sanctuary or any other all heroes apply shield, and this will just to all your heroes gain vitality, and it's really good. So AoE shields pair very well with Unwavering Faith, and you can get your team lots of vitality stacks really quickly. Defense Mastery, we just want more energy, and we'll be playing defense cards the entire game. Double Bubble, this is really good for when you have the expensive ones or just the AoE heals. Like even just a prayer of I don't know, the prayer of shields. I forgot the name all of a sudden. Even a Double Bubble for that was good. One trick you can do with Double Bubble is you could, if you don't like it for the turn you're on, you can cast all your other cards, and then at the end of your turn play Double Bubble, and since it's the next defense, it'll be applicable to your next turn. You can open with a really good defense card and then cast it twice. Or you could even copy a defense spell, leave it in your hand as a 0 cost, and then discard, and it'll come around next time around through the deck, right? Because it doesn't disappear at end of turn. So you can create a copy of something and hold it on for later as a 0 cost, which is sometimes applicable. And the Dome of Light just says, when we shield, we heal, and then we shield again, and then we heal again. So like, it's ridiculous. He's a really good, healthy healer, just through, like I said, the prayer protections, and eventually Sanctuary. The card you're looking for late game is Sanctuary. And yeah, equipment-wise, you don't really need anything that says plus shield. I would really only get like 1 plus shield item. To be honest, I would lean a lot heavier into Vitality right now. Vitality, and then shielding, and then maybe even like buffer before shielding sometimes, before like your second shielding item. A really good weapon for him is Destiny. I mean, Destiny is good for anyone, right? But I find Ottis is one of the people that benefits from the most, because your best card is Sanctuary. You want like 3 or 4 of those by the end of the game, and that costs 5 baseline, and then it gets reduced by 1 by your Defense Mastery, and then Destiny brings it down to 0. So it's really good. Like I said, other than that, I'll get like maybe 1 plus shield ring or weapon or armor or whatever. I wouldn't lean too hard into it. More shields does eventually, like, there is a critical mass of shields where just too much shields is not helping you anymore, right? And you want Vitality or some other, like the Hydra Egg could be good for Ottis, because you'll eventually get rid of the Healing Rains, and that's just a stable source of regen for your team. So I think that's a good accessory slot that's guaranteed in the game. Yeah, I'm just going to keep talking if I want to. So I think that's everything. If you have any questions, let me know. I do answer pretty regularly on the comment section, and I will catch you later. Peace.